Father, why should abuse survivors trust the church?
I'm not sure if abuse survivors should trust the church.
It's a pleasure to be home in the province that I love as your moderator tonight.
Do you admit that we have a problem with the number of kids in our classes?
As we're going to come to the class sizes, we have that in an education segment. I want to know about the masks. Mr. Marley, would you put in a mandatory mask policy?
Now, the political tension is palpable right now. It really comes down to who takes care of these people.
It is our largest export worldwide, and unless we're going to stop planes, trains, and automobiles indefinitely, not just for a short period of time, indefinitely, this is not the last dance for oil.
And they're constantly on the move. But take a look around me. There's no animals, there are no people, there's nothing out here. And that tells us there's no food or water anywhere in this area.
Is that a demotion for him then to go to infrastructure? Does that mean he didn't fulfill his role?
Real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. I could go on.
These semi-annual forums bring together some of the brightest and most controversial thinkers on the planet. And this one, as you can see, maybe one of the most controversial that there is.
He says the area we're walking into used to be waterfront property.
Adam, we're 20 feet from the shore. I mean, knee deep in water here. How much of this island has water eaten up? Meteorologists say the worst is yet to come. Water levels are expected to peak on Monday or Tuesday, giving residents 48 hours to figure out their next move.
We are watching, of course, that number on the bottom of your screen. Electoral college votes right now sitting at 136 to 104 for Donald Trump. Again, you have to get 270 to seal the deal for the next president of the United States.
10,000 people in this camp.
10,000 in one day.
In one day.
Heat is on this week to get a NAFTA deal done, but Canada won't be pressured into a bad deal.
Thousands and thousands of people taking to the streets to say the status quo is not enough.
Since then, they've been inducted into the Hall of Fame. They've sold more than 70 million copies. In the U.S. alone, 200 million albums worldwide. The first time that we've done this between two buildings, and it's precedent setting, right? Because the next election, the next throne speech, this is how we're going to do it again. The rink just beside, fully packed out. The cafeteria in the high school, fully packed out. Everybody watching, wanting to be a part of this.
The fear levels are just so high. I mean, people scared to go outside, people scared to talk to their neighbors. How come there's still no timelines for oil companies to clean up their mess?
It's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, but we're doing the right thing.
Do you think it'll be fixed in my generation, Minister? Will it be fixed in my generation or my kids' generation?
You're listening to officials in Santa Fe, Texas, addressing, of course, a deadly day in Santa Fe. The Texas Governor Greg Abbott confirming 10 people have been killed, another 10 have been injured, and he said it has to be the worst disaster to strike that community. We know now that there are two weapons that were used, a shotgun and a revolver. They believe that those weapons were taken from the father of the suspect. The suspect is a 17-year-old student. Local, state, and federal officials are involved in this investigation at this point. The governor is saying, they really mourn with those parents. It must be the worst day of their lives. We don't know out of those 10 how many students are affected, but we know the majority of the victims are students. We don't know any ages, and we don't know names right now. 10 people are dead, 10 injured, the latest from the Texas governor. And someone that knows this story all too well, Andrew Pollock. He lost his daughter in the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in Parkland, Florida. He joins us on the line. You heard the governor speak there very clearly. What are your responses as you watch as a father that knows what this feels like to lose someone?
He said these parents will be suffering for days to come. It's not days. I'm on 90 days, and I don't feel any better from the first day.
One bathroom for 50 people?
Yeah.
50.
Yeah.
2 other migrant farm workers have died of COVID-19 on Ontario farms.
I think about the people that have already lost their lives on Canadian soil. I know that Canada doesn't have a financial responsibility to those families. Is there any help for them? I mean, these are people that died bringing us food.
This is something that is on Canadians. There are lots of changes we need to make.
Some of Iran's best and brightest were on their way to Canada. Students, doctors, athletes, even newlyweds. And 20 children with their families. These were the 176 lives lost when a missile shot down Flight 752. For 6 months, the TSB also lobbied for full access to the black box recordings.
You fly to Paris, you're in the room with the black boxes,
but you can't listen to them?
So again, at that meeting, one of the first things we did was push again for this higher status so that we could, but still the answer was no, unfortunately.
Wow. So just no at every turn.
Yeah, essentially.
The world community needs to take this a lot more seriously than they have.
This is not only a failure of Iran, this is a failure of the international rules and regulations.
Well, in many ways it is.
You've become a Canadian national treasure. You know, you're an honorary Canadian. What does that mean to you?
I love Canada. 2 of my little boys, both born in Toronto, holding Canadian passports, so it's always forever going to be part of my life, and hope to stay a long time, that's for sure.
We're happy to hear that. Give us the 10, 20 years. We'll sign the contract.
I might need a new agent.
Everything looked like this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. It must have hit businesses here so hard.
Yeah, most of the businesses here, the bars and the restaurants were completely decimated.
5 months goes by. The ship's captain had his lawyer warn Lebanon's Ministry of Public Works that the ammonium nitrate was very dangerous and highly flammable. Human Rights Watch would later determine the ministry failed to investigate the threat.
Is it even allowed to have those kinds of explosives right beside people living in their homes?
No. Ammonium nitrate that's above a certain nitrogen grade is considered military equipment and material used to make weapons.
Fast forward to June 2014. In a fateful decision, a judge ordered the ministry to offload the ship's cargo. Port officials eventually chose this warehouse blocks away from people's homes. These pictures show bags of the highly explosive chemical haphazardly stored beside other flammable materials. Shockingly, this is where the explosive sat for 6 years. A ticking time bomb right beside thousands of unsuspecting residents.
We found that officials, political officials, judicial officials, security officials, and port and customs officials were not only aware of the ammonium nitrate in the port, they were aware of the threat that the ammonium nitrate posed to Beirut and the public.
They knew this was dangerous.
They knew this was dangerous, and in one of the reports that was sent to the president and the prime minister, it clearly said that if this were to blow up, it would destroy the city.
First day I was sitting in Cineplex, I was wondering, why am I sitting in Cineplex? Like, come on, why am I sitting in a movie theater?
W5 secretly shot footage of a Cineplex classroom filled with international students on a 2-year diploma program. They pay thousands of dollars each semester to go to school here.
Who is studying at the movie theater?
The Indian community is studying in the movie theater.
There's no Canadian students in
I
there?
haven't seen any Canadian students at all.
Does that feel weird to you, Sid?
I don't know. It feels very bad, like why do you have to do that? And they started seeing students like cash cows.
Cash cows?
Yes.
That's how you feel?
Halifax is 4.5 hours away from CBU. Chris says in their class alone, dozens of students commute weekly to the university, many driving on Canadian winter roads for the first time.
So in your opinion, is the university expanding too fast?
Yes, and the university is being irresponsible.
Does enrollment need to stop today to adjust, help the people that are here right now?
Enrollment needed to stop years ago.
But I think about, the people that are here and if there's enough care for them right now, who's responsible for them? And are you actually ready to keep growing here?
We're absolutely ready to keep going forward. First of all, we inform students that if you want to come to the campus of CBU, you better check and firm up your housing options. A good number of them haven't done that, and we'll tell you something.
Housing options?
You're going to allow me to complete my sentence?
Sure,
well, thank you very much. They have an obligation. We have an obligation to find those spaces and build those spaces. I just announced yesterday another 240 spaces on the campus.
Despite the improvements, a confidential document was leaked to W5, where CBU admits the doubling of total enrollment was the result of largely unplanned growth and should have been thought about many years ago. We asked the president about that.
Can you publicly say here that something went wrong along the way?